We're back on Boring Before 64, and I love our guest. Your voice is so soothing.
Thank you.
Tisha. And I think because when you go to a massage therapist, all the lights are down, there's a special aura within the room. It automatically makes you relaxed.
I think that in the presence of healers, most people do relax. So as massage therapists, we generally set a healing tone. So for me...
Music? And music too?
Music. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a musician. I play the Celtic harp.
Oh, beautiful.
And other instruments. But
do you use your own music?
Occasionally. Yeah, occasionally I use my own music. And sometimes I will play instruments for people as part of shamanic healing, certainly. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the retreats that that we had mentioned at the beginning of the show. The first one is the Shaman's Part 1.
Shaman's Path.
Shaman's Path.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Well,
what does that mean?
Yes, with the Shaman's Path, well, it's essentially we were looking to develop some retreats where people could come and experience a closer connection to the earth. And so shamans are very close to the earth, right? Reading those signals from the earth and feeling those kinds of things. So I did a drum circle and a bit of teaching about it at another retreat we were having, and people were like, we want more of that. That was good stuff. So people would be drumming. People would be having an opportunity to open up to what the natural world has to tell them.
So we start with what at the retreat when we get here? Let's talk about that.
We start with a nature walk. Right?
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
How long do you make that nature walk?
Oh, several hours, it's pretty challenging.
Oh, you make it challenging?
I'm teasing.
You're teasing.
I think about a half hour.
Half an hour.
Half hour to an hour.
Which actually gets a lot of things out of your body to start off with, right? Movement. Okay, then what happens? What time do you get here to start?
I think people are arriving about 4 o'clock.
In the afternoon.
Yeah.
So they have that beautiful walk.
Right. And then they have, we have a community dinner. So people are bringing things to contribute to the soup pot. We call it stone soup, right?
Stone soup?
Yeah, like the story. The
I
story
love
of
that.
stone soup. Everyone contributed something, and finally they had a wonderful soup.
Okay. And then what?
And then after that, I usually give some kind of a teaching about what we're going to be doing throughout the weekend, what our goal is, what we're working towards. And we're going to do some drumming and singing. Yeah, things like that.
Really get it out there, right?
Yeah.
Make yourself feel wonderful because you're getting an expression out there, right?
Right. And you're getting to express pieces of yourself that you don't ordinarily get to express.
So even if you can't sing very well, you can get it out there, right?
Exactly.
You don't know if you're going to be the next rock artist, right?
It's the whole thing of when people start using their authentic voice. So we're looking at like deepening the experience of what your voice is really like. Sometimes we're holding back because we aren't allowing the voice to come up from the gut, right? So it's a matter of...
I love that. My husband doesn't like me to sing in church.
Because you get it up from the gut, and he's like, "Whoa, man, you're really putting it out there."
I'm from a family of musicians. My father, my mother, my daughter is got a beautiful voice. My husband's got a great voice. Everybody except me. So my challenge is to be able to get that out there. Okay, so I do it in different ways, right? So then what happens? I want to go through the weekend because I like this. So go right ahead.
I think we need to leave a little mystery around it, but
yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Go ahead.
But people will be doing a craft. Carolyn, of course, is being the wonderful artist that she is willing to share from her heart and soul and help people to create some crafts from some natural materials, things like that. Wonderful. So a connection to
the earth again.
Yeah. And then we're looking at how do we connect with what people would typically call a power animal, right? So that kind of thing. What animal connections do we have? What plant connections do we have?
So you ask them what they are?
Well, no, I help them discover that.
Discover that.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you, can I ask that question?
Uh-huh.
What would you think my animal would be?
Ah, let me see. What do I see about you? Well, I'll tell you one thing that I see right away is this lady has some sort of a bird connection. Yeah, and I see several different birds appearing for her, and yeah, aside from that, there's a cat in there. Yeah, yeah, see a lioness appearing.
Lion. That's right.
Yeah,
So
so sometimes, yeah, but more that you would discover it for yourself.
For yourself. Right. And I love red birds.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love birds. I think birds are so beautiful. They're God's creatures. And I love lions. And I think that if you see that in yourself, it does what, Tish?
Well, it allows us to connect with the power of that creature. All right. So let's say that we're connecting with the power of the lion. What does the lion mean to you?
Hunting.
Hunting. Okay. So that predatory
That
nature.
predatory person, that we're not afraid.
Right.
That, and I think the bird is freedom
Freedom.
and flight.
And so we're looking at those pieces because we're going to see different things about the animals. But it's basically that we're going to use things like meditation and exercises of that nature to help us connect with whatever that natural thing is. Right? Like
I like that.
Yeah. I might see, out here we see a lot of turkey vultures, right? So what does the turkey vulture do? I mean, it's a fascinating thing. This turkey vulture is able to eat dead animals and not get sick from it.
Yeah.
So it's a really important piece, right?
Of nature, actually.
Yeah. So how can that be? And what powers can happen if you're connected to that animal?
Right. Do you know what the name of my business is?
What?
Connected. It was Connected International. Now it's the Tri-State Connection. I connect people, places, and things. So it's amazing what just meeting you and seeing. I feel like you and I have been regressed, and I can see this person in you that makes me feel there's somebody that you remind me of. This is intuition that you remind me of that made me feel so good as I was growing up. And I think that that's important.
Yes.
If you can connect with that spirit, right? It's funny because I had a very good friend who was a psychic who passed away just recently. And I had a visit during the day from an angel. And angels have surrounded me a long time. And I could see the angel. I was awake. And I called him up and I said, "It's not the angel of death, is it?" And he said, "No, it's your angel. It's your guardian angel. That's it." And I've connected with his daughter now. And we're now doing different things together. And it's just amazing. We all have intuition, don't we?
We all have intuition. And being in the presence of a healer who has worked on that a lot is part of what brings it forth for others.
Okay.
So we've all got wonderful intuitive abilities. So what you're feeling from being around me is my teacher's nature. So I have a very strong connection to wanting to teach people things. And so being a healer, I teach what I know, right? So many paths for healing, but that's part of what you're feeling is that opening of intuition. It's okay to talk about things that we don't normally talk about when you're with a healer.
Which makes it, and I think that that's really important. And on that note, I think we have to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Tina McGraw, and here at the Country Lodge at Savasong Farm.